Hey guys, Barry with FatherSeekers. This is the FS 100 Challenge, episode 37. So, look here. I want to talk to you today about isolation. I want to talk to you what it is, why we do it, but also want to talk to you about the cure of it. One of the worst things a guy can do is to use isolation as a coping mechanism because it leads to other mechanisms of coping that are damaging to you emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and will do as much and more and different damage to the ones you love. So I want to talk to you about isolation. I want to tell you what it is. I want to tell you why it happens. And I want to give you some examples of some of the most catastrophic ones we could do because not only does it hurt us, but it hurts the ones we love. And there is a cure for isolation. So obvious. It's a difficult one, but it can be done. It has to be done because you can't live in a cave the rest of your life. I was a professional cave dweller for a lot of years when I was ill with a life-ending disease for over 10 years and was in critical care for 2. But I want to tell you the worst thing you can do is isolate, even in the worst circumstances imaginable. I want to talk to you first about what isolation is. Isolation means to set apart or separate from something, others, people, responsibilities. It is detaching ourselves from what we're supposed to be doing. And one of the things about understanding what we're supposed to do is, first of all, understand what our purpose is. And if we understand our purpose many times, just that simple understanding will help us overcome isolation. I want to also help you remember that when we are isolating, we're doing so in speaking of an unhealthy way. We're pulling back from social situations, from encountering and engaging with healthy people, which is so important. But if you isolate like I did, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I did. I'm just telling you here, I'm trying to head you off before you get to that bridge. Don't isolate. Let's talk about some of the coping mechanisms that go with isolation. Number one is caving mechanism. I decide to go in a cave and I determine who gets inside the cave. I determine who I acknowledge. I determine who I maybe let in, either talking through the door or maybe even inside the cave, because a cave can be a good place if you go in for restorative reasons. But if you are going in there to hide, then that cave will become a tomb. Let me say that again. If you go to a cave for restorative reasons, like David and the mighty men of valor that he led went to the cave of Adullam for rest and restoration and rebooting. If you're doing that, that's different. But don't use that for an excuse, because you can't restore yourself alone. Now you may need some solitude, but not isolation. There's a big, huge difference. Solitude, isolation. We'll talk about solitude next episode. But isolation it will corrupt who we are. Caving mechanism is hiding out away from people, inside our own head, doing what we want to do, doing what we think is right, judging ourselves and saying it's okay to do. The next mechanism that we use is the disconnection mechanism. We disconnect from everybody and everything. The reason that that's so hazardous is we were made to have interaction with people. We were made to engage with people. We were made to have relationship with people. That is the way we're wired. Now, if you don't like that, then that's something you got to work on, because you can't be. Now, I'm not saying go stand in a crowd and scream and yell your name. I'm not. I'm saying you can't be alone forever. You got to have interaction with other people. I have to have it. That's the way we're made. So I have to do that. The third mechanism is the distress mechanism. When we get distressed, the more we get distressed, the more it ramps up, and the more it ramps up, the easier we are to activate distress mechanisms. For example, it may not be a big deal. Your kids may be screaming and yelling, and because you've had a rough day, or your lady or your wife hits you as soon as you walk in the door, and you just don't have it in you to deal with because of your day. They don't know about that, but they see you here. You're the savior, you're the hero. You get distressed, you freak out, you blow up, or you go back and get in your vehicle and drive away, or go sit in the man cave and hide from everybody. Distress will cause fractures in your mind and heart. They'll do it in your family. Don't distress. The next mechanism, the last one we'll talk about today, is the depression mechanism. Getting depressed can be healthy on short little spurts because our body is depressing from all the stress and pressure. It's shutting down a little bit. If you go to that mechanism often or regularly, or that's your fallback, you need to see someone to talk through that and talk with them. Medical personnel. Doesn't mean you need to have medication. It means you need help. You need someone to talk to you and guide you through. Now, I would tell you, and I've learned this from professionals, if you are depressed more than 2 weeks, you need help. Now, depression will pass on to your family, will pass on to your wife, to your home, the people you work with. I want to tell you why you do it. Same reason we all do. In the garden, when Adam sinned, God came looking for him. And the first thing he did was he ran and hid. That's what we do. We're good. We're good at running and hiding and acknowledging what's happening, recognizing it. I want to give you one quick step to stop isolation. Whenever you feel like isolating, hiding, talk to somebody. To a friend, a brother. You hear me say all the time, if you don't have brothers you're walking through this life with, huge mistake. Men need two things. Men need a woman, a good woman that God provides, and good brothers you can walk through life with. It's not going away. You got to manage it, got to deal with it. This is Barry with FatherSeekers. This is the FS100 Challenge. I know you can do this. Keep it up.